You may have heard of a specific beef called Wagyu beef. You may have also heard of something called Kobe beef. It's a common misconception that they're two different kinds of beef, because that's not actually the case. All Kobe beef is Wagyu beef, but not all Wagyu beef is Kobe beef, because Kobe beef is specifically from the Kobe region in Japan, where they produce a very, very specific kind, or a very special high-end kind of Wagyu beef. But what's Wagyu beef in the first place? Well, it's the meat from a very specific genetic predisposition of cow that has a higher percentage of omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids that basically makes for a very unique marbling within the meat itself that ends up looking like this. The cows are basically treated like royalty. They're fed a very specific diet. They don't really do much exercise in order for the meat to stay as tender as possible, although it is a very common misconception, once again, that the cows are regularly massaged in order for the meat to be as tender as possible. That apparently is not actually true, according to Google. Why am I telling you all of these weird beef facts? Well, because I'm a beef enthusiast. Also because Mizuno made boots using Wagyu beef leather, and just as the meat is, these are absolutely incredible. What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the very special, very limited, and extremely unique Mizuno Blackout Collection boots, aka the Wagyu beef boots, aka the fancy cow boots, aka the nicest leather quality I think I've ever seen on a pair of football boots, period. And it comes in two different variations. The Mizuno Morelia 2, basically their classic boot that originally came out in 1985, and of course the much more modern speed boot iteration, the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2, both fully blacked out, both made from the finest beef leather you've ever seen in your life. So what we're gonna do in today's video is take a closer look at what I think are the nicest leather boots ever created. We'll talk performance, we'll talk tech specs, because these are two very different models in regards to the fit and feel that they have on offer. And we'll also take a look at how they fit and feel on feet, if that's something you're interested in, essentially covering everything that you need to know. So if you are interested in learning more, please stick around, watch the entire video. And if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. We'll be able to pick up either of these below their normal retail price. $270 for the Morelia 2, $280 for the Morelia Neo 2, which, yes, that is a lot of money. That's typically the case with made in Japan Mizuno products, but they're not actually charging you any more than the typical made in Japan versions, even though these feature Wagyu leather. If you guys do end up enjoying the video, don't forget to support it with a like. And if you're new here watching for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. And beef facts. Circling back to the limited part, these are actually limited to only 1,985 pairs worldwide, split between the two models. 1985, because that's the year the original Morelia came out. So there's 1,000 pairs of Morelia 2s and 985 pairs of Morelia Neo 2s. So out of the two, technically the Neos are more exclusive, and they're also individually numbered. Not on the boots themselves, but they give you this tag right here where you can see it says Morelia 1019 out of 1985, and then it's got this on the back. If you want to pause that and read that, if you can read that, go ahead. And the Morelia 2s I have are number 983, almost 985, that would have been a cool number to have, out of 1,985 total pairs. Along with the tags, you also get this black on black made in Japan branded box. You also get a black on black made in Japan branded boot bag, which has a boot bag score of 1,265 out of 1,985. They also include this little bag right here that contains a leather care kit, which is always a nice little extra with any leather boots. It has an applicator cloth as well as a little tube of leather cream. A tube of leather cream. You get the exact same things with both boots. Let's move on. So we'll start with my favorite of the two in this pack, the Morelia 2, which of course is their more old school boot currently on offer, kind of their variation of the Adidas Copa Mundial, although I will say these have some major upsides in comparison to the Copa Mundial that we'll talk about in just a second. But the star of the show here is definitely the leather. The entire boot is made out of leather and the quality is absolutely tremendous. So soft, so flexible. It really is the nicest leather boot that I think I've ever seen. And honestly, if you're just after pure leather quality, if you're between this and the Neo 2, definitely go with these because there's just a lot more leather and they feel that much more premium on your feet because of it. Although again, they're two very different boots in regards to how they fit and feel. This would definitely be my choice though. Now you're probably wondering, why would they go with cow leather rather than kangaroo leather, what they would typically make their made in Japan products out of, which by the way, are absolutely fantastic. You could argue those are the best leather quality boots that money can buy. If those are a 9.8 out of 10 in regards to quality, these are a 9.9. The quality standards for made in Japan Mizuno leather boots is so high, they honestly didn't give themselves much place to go with this Wagyu beef boot. But given that it's never been done before, given that they did go the extra mile to do something different that's that much better, they did a good job. Is it worth the money that they're charging, given that these aren't any more expensive than a regular pair of made in Japan Morelia 2s or Neo 2s? I definitely think it's worth it, but are you going to notice a huge difference if you already have a pair of kangaroo leather made in Japan Neo 2s or Morelia 2s? I think the answer to that question is no. They feel really, really good as I've ever felt on any boots, but are they going to feel drastically different from the kangaroo leather variations of the same boots? No. Before we move on, I want to talk about the significance of this particular product as it relates to Mizuno themselves. A lot of people don't think about this because mainly kangaroo leather shoes I think have fallen out of favor a lot in the modern football boot industry. But when you're talking about a brand like Nike or a brand like Adidas or any brand outside of Australia making kangaroo leather boots, the kangaroos are not local to them. They have to get the kangaroo leather from Australia, where way back in the day when that wasn't necessarily possible, when brands like Diadora and Lotto and these smaller Italian makes were very popular as far as making premium leather boots, they used cow skin or calf skin because that's what they had local to them. That's what to me makes this product so cool, because in Japan, they don't have kangaroos, but they do have Wagyu beef cows, the softest cows apparently in existence, and they've made leather boots out of that. So not only are these made in Japan, all the materials and everything to make them also come from Japan as well. So leather quality aside, which I think we've established is pretty incredible, why would you spend $270 on made in Japan Morelia 2s over $130 or less for a pair of Adidas Copa Mondiales that are arguably just as good? Well, like I said, these do have some benefits over Copas, and again, it's up to you to determine whether or not that extra increase in price is worth it to you. What I think makes these better than Copas, one, is that they fit and feel much more like modern boots. These came out in 1985, way after Copas did, and the overall shape and feel of the boot is much more like what we're used to. When you put a pair of Copa Mondiales on, while they're very comfortable, they feel extremely old school in the way that they fit. A little bit of a sloppiness, very high volume. They're just not for everybody, especially if you're used to wearing modern boots. But if you want that classic feel while maintaining the modern fit as well, you can actually get that with the Morelia 2. So I really like that about these versus Copa Mondiales. Not to mention, the sole plate uses much more modern materials in regards to the plastic they've used. It's got much more flexibility to it. I think it's a much more solid base underfoot as well. And the stud pattern, while very old school, not overly aggressive, it is more aggressive than what you'll find from the Adidas Copa Mondiale. The other big thing is the weight, which I know a lot of people complain about when it comes to Copas. In a size 9 US, which technically in a Copa would be like an 8 US in regards to how they fit, those are gonna weigh in at about 10.5, 10.6 ounces, which is not overly lightweight by today's standards. These, which feature the same amount of leather, the same overall quality, a very similar type of feel, only weigh 7.8 ounces, which puts them basically in the same weight range as most modern top-end boots. Very lightweight for this style of shoe, and again, something you'll notice as a huge difference if you're comparing these directly to Copas. Not to mention, and this is a personal opinion thing, I just think that the Morelia 2 is a better looking shoe. It's more sleek, it's slightly more modernized, but still maintains that old school look, and the build quality is absolutely phenomenal. If you're looking for boots to last, any made in Japan Mizuno product is definitely gonna hold up for you in the long run. And then there's the Morelia Neo 2, which is basically their speed boot that still has some leather on the upper. Personally, while I think these are very good boots, they're just not for me. mainly because I'm not a huge fan of leather boots that don't have that much leather, and that's basically what you're getting here. Yes, it has the Wagyu beef leather at the front, which feels extremely soft, very premium, as nice as you're gonna find on any boot. There just isn't very much of it. You can see the seam in the forefoot cuts off right here on the medial side, runs all the way through the front of the shoe, and then cuts off at this point right here. Everything else on the boot is synthetic or plastic. Of course, the liner is a synthetic suede, but there just isn't that much leather. What is there is very good. It does offer a leather-like touch that you definitely will notice when dribbling the ball, but everywhere else, it's very thin, and it just has a tighter overall speed boot type fit and feel, which again, not a bad thing, just not what I like from a pair of leather boots, which is why I prefer the regular Morelia 2 over the Neo 2. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, it's identical to any other variation of the Neo 2 that's out there. Full synthetic through the midfoot area, central lacing system with a very, very deep kind of lacing to it so that you can get this really snug fit despite having a leather upper. You would kind of expect something to feel a little bit more sloppy. These don't feel sloppy at all. They're remarkably responsive. And for those that were big fans of the leather F50 Adizeros back when those came out in 2010 and were extremely popular basically through 2014, I would say, this is kind of a better performing variation of all of those boots, especially in the long run once they're broken in. I really do like the way that these perform. It features a synthetic tongue, so it's relatively thin through the midfoot area, especially across the top as well, so they're not going to have an overly padded sensation. And then of course it does maintain a low cut design with this extended piece at the back that personally I don't care for in regards to how it feels. It can cause a little bit of chafing at the back of your Achilles tendon depending on how, I guess, sensitive you are to that kind of thing, but it's something that you will get used to relatively quickly, at least most people do. Synthetic suede liner, which feels extremely premium. Not a ton of padding back there, but enough to where it is comfortable and your heel is definitely nice and secure. Insole fully removable, and by the way, the insoles are identical on the Neo 2 and the regular Morelias as well. If you're wondering why I didn't show them to you, it's because I'm showing them to you now. It features this really nice kind of, I guess, slightly rough texture to it. I would describe it as a sandpaper, but it's not quite that. But it does a really effective job of gripping your socks, kind of giving you that grip sock sensation without actually having grip socks. And it's just a standard white foam, nothing too fancy at all, but the liner does make all the difference in the world in regards to giving you that nice connected, I guess, responsive sensation with the boots. And then of course you have the sole plate and stud pattern, which is loosely based off of what we originally saw introduced in 2010 with Adidas and their sprint frame that was on the original F50 Adizero. External heel counter, plastic construction, good flexibility to it in the forefoot, rigidity through the midfoot, and then of course an all conical FG stud pattern that actually is more aggressive than you might expect it to be. I really do like this stud pattern. If they could put this sole plate on this upper, I think that would be absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, they have not done that. Also, as far as lightweight boots go, because it is a speed boot, these are very, very light. In a size 9 US, they're gonna weigh in at only 6.8, 6.9 ounces, which puts these in the exact same weight range as a Nike Mercurial Vapor 12 Elite, one of the lightest boots on the market right now. So if you're looking for that super lightweight, tight, responsive feel, a speed boot style fit and feel, you're getting exactly that from the Morelia Neo 2, not to mention made in Japan build quality, so these are built to last as well. So both boots obviously come with black laces, which look good considering the blackout theme. But what I don't like about Mizuno laces is that they use what is almost like a cotton type material, which actually absorb quite a bit of water, and they just retain wetness when you play in wet weather, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I decided to swap them out for some steel gray reflective SR4U replacement laces on these Neo 2s that accent nicely with the gray bits that you have slightly in the logos, the liner, as well as some of the accents on the sole plate. I just think it looks really cool, makes them a little bit different than everyone else. Not that you're gonna find too many people wearing these, but if you are interested in some replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. So on feet, both of these boots feel absolutely fantastic. That was the power. So the leather on both boots feel absolutely fantastic, and it only softens up as you wear them in, which is hard to believe because they are so soft to begin with. While both feel very premium, they also fit and feel very different from each other at the same time. Like I mentioned earlier, the Morelia being entirely made out of leather has much more of an old school feel to it. If you like the softness all over your foot sensation, this does that better than just about anything out there right now. It really is super, super comfortable, pretty much nothing to break in, where the Morelia Neo 2 has a much tighter fit overall, very low volume. I would say that these actually fit tighter than the current generation of Mercurials, even have a lower volume as well, so very responsive, super locked in feel, much more narrow overall as well in comparison to the regular Morelia 2. But again, it just depends on what type of fit and feel you're looking for. Both very comfortable, and because they are both leather, they're going to adjust to your feet as you wear them in. As far as width is concerned, I would say that these regular Morelia 2s, they're going to be wide enough for just about anybody. They will legitimately adjust to anyone's foot. Where the Neo 2, if you do have really wide feet, probably not the best option for you because it does have a tighter fit overall. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing both of these in a size 9 US. I could probably do with a 9.5, being that my feet are about a 9.25. But the fit and the length is pretty good on the snug side. Overall though, I'd say that both of these models do run true to size. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would personally recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, if you've ever had Wagyu beef, and I have had it, it's really good. Some say it's the best, and that's basically how you could sum up these boots. They are really, really good, and as far as leather boots go, you could say they're the best ever, especially when you're talking about quality. But again, two very different boots. I think it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a very high quality, arguably even better quality modernized variation of the Copa Mundial, the Made in Japan Morelia 2, whether you go for this variation, the limited one, or a regular Made in Japan model, they're some of the best classic leather boots that are still out there right now in production. And if you're looking for something that is a lightweight speed boot in regards to how it fits and feels, but still features some premium leather, again, the Morelia Neo 2, while it hasn't changed for a long time, it's still an excellent option, just a little expensive. Anyways, guys, that is it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in either of these two boots for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $280 and $270 retail prices. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.